Hello there. We're back. We're back at it. We have moved past swimming. Now we're on to new horizons. We're going to make interactive environments, which, I mean, I guess technically we've already kind of done that, but I guess it's just going to be things that change the way that your character behaves, I suppose. So, I mean, the first thing I saw was immediately an acceleration zone, I think he called it.
Yeah,
Which, yeah,
that's what
acceleration
he
zone.
calls it.
So I mean, it's just gonna. I'm assuming it's just gonna be a volume that increases your acceleration when you're within it. So it'll be stuff along those lines, which is pretty fun. That's the kind of shit that I've been. I had kind of an idea of how you would do that, and I'm sure if I would have just sat down and messed with it, we could have figured it out. But I'm also sure there's gonna be a bunch of twists and turns along the way that I wouldn't have even thought of. But before we get too far into that, I have made some changes around here. Um, so I imported the first draft, or I guess not the very first, but one of the first passes of the mall, basically. So you can see the interior of it here. We got each little colored wing. You got like an elevator in the middle that you can in the eventual game it would take you up, but right now it doesn't do anything. And there's just like a bunch of random shit sitting around because I want to make sure we could still play with stuff. But yeah, I'd like to come through here eventually and start saying like what is and isn't climbable and like make that kind of signposted a little bit. And then I also have a pool out here just so we can keep testing water stuff.
It just occurred to me that we could probably put a fountain in the mall.
Yeah, that's
That could be
where.
where the swimming is.
Well, there's gonna be the fountain was gonna be one of the secret entrances to the underwater area.
Oh, I know. It didn't occur
I
to
think
me.
that was just a parallel think moment. I think I just didn't say that. Um,
The elevator like reminded me of a fountain.
yeah, that's one thing I went back and forth on because like I feel like the elevator definitely has to be in the center, but I feel like the fountain also has to be in the center. So I was thinking maybe the
It'd be
fountain could
cool to
be
hide
like
it.
maybe the fountain could be in the center of like one of these mid zones right here. But
Hmm.
one thing I'm still not very happy with is the scale. Like
Yeah, it
it's
is a
so
little
weird.
small.
It's hard to get right, but it's a good way to, I guess, just see
Yeah.
how it feels to walk around in this environment. And I'm sure I could scale down my character a little bit too, just to make it a little bit bigger.
The scale of the inside scale I feel like is good. Like the walls to ceiling. Like the building scale itself is good,
It's just
but
this area needs to be bigger.
maybe that's just what it is. Maybe that
That's what
I
I've been
think
trying to make the mid
you
zone
know
bigger. I've done this like 3 times where I was like,
I
oh, the
think
mid
maybe
zone's
it's
tiny.
I think maybe it's just the whole thing. If you like I feel like it's just the relation between the the people and the
Oh well, yeah, I
scale.
could just point.
Yeah.
Is that better?
I feel like it could be like 10 times.
Really? Alright, that's
I
good.
mean just try it like
Yeah, it doesn't hurt. Might as well.
yeah.
Whoa. Oh, they're all
I
sleeping. Cause
oh yeah.
that's funny.
I feel like this is the scale that I was kind of thinking.
Okay.
You
I
gotta
mean,
run across.
the tiles actually
Yeah.
make me think that I actually had a better idea of that. Oh, now the old level is clipping through though. I can fix that.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I think I kind of agree with that. I just feel it feels so tall. Oh,
yeah,
this didn't scale.
oh,
Oh shit, it's a hole. Okay, wait. What is the scale of this thing so I don't forget? I scaled it up to just like to 2. What? Oh, because it was 0.8 originally. What the hell? 2, 2, 2. Okay. And then I'll just what should I move? I guess I'll move this guy. Oh no, I also need to scale the elevator. I had it on a separate. I imported it as a separate mesh so that I could make it camera ignore.
Nice.
I guess I'll just move the pieces that are clipping through. But yeah, like the insides of the stores are all set up to. I guess that's the worst way to show it. But like if you look in here, the UVs are all fucked.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like this could be a cool interior for one of the stores, like melty UVs. But I mean, whatever. But yeah, this is the inside of all the stores are all modeled. They're just not textured very well because I didn't pay a lot of attention to it. But the normals are right at the very least. That was a pain in the fucking ass going through all the normals.
How'd you get the collision?
I just did a mesh collider.
Oh, wow.
I just did it all on its own. Look, you can look at the actual collider that gets built too somehow. I don't know how I did it, but earlier I was like previewing it.
Yeah. I think if you double click it, maybe in the, is it a, it's a if you double click the prefab in the assets.
Oh, like here?
Oh, whoops. That's not what it is.
This looks like the Pentagon.
Yeah. I think though, if you like the little arrow next to it. Whoa, lots of materials.
Yeah, I mean every one of these is a different material.
Oh yeah, I guess it doesn't show.
Let me try to recover a little bit here. I guess I should probably just delete all this old shit. I don't know. I'm kind of attached to it. Maybe if I could just like...
Just shrink it down and put it in one of the stores.
Oh, yeah.
Or just in the middle.
I'm just trying to think of how I could get... Oh, yeah, that's probably it right there, huh? Okay. I was just thinking of how I could grab everything in it without moving the mall. I didn't think I would be able to just click and drag like that. That was really smooth. So I still want to be able to go over to that area. Oh, yeah, and the pool. Shit. But yeah, I think I do agree this scale feels better, especially if you're playing as a child.
Yeah.
Like, the way you're just like, whoa, like looking at how
like
tall
the way
it
you
is.
naturally look up. Very nice.
And then playing. And yeah, all the normals for it are like... Wait, what? Didn't I grab it? Oh, I guess I didn't. All the normals for the mall are set up in a way so that like when you're on the inside and you look up, you see the ceiling. But then when you're like up here looking down, you can see inside each store, you know?
Yeah.
Just actually kind of nice. I didn't really like plan that out, but as I was going through the normals, at first I was going to try to make the roofs all two stacked, you know?
Yeah.
But I figured this was actually kind of better. I guess I'll throw all this junk in the water too. And this really is like just a dumpster. Like we just have so much just garbage sitting around everywhere. Okay, let's try that out. Yeah, it's so big.
I mean, you gotta fit vendors and stuff.
Yeah, honestly, this might not be big enough still. It's just, you have to fit so much shit in here. And this thing is, too, this isn't walled off. This is, in my head, this is what would be walled off for the wing right here.
Yeah.
So this is all still part of the mid zone. And then there would be doors here because there's little triangle rooms that could just be like extra rooms. We could put like security closets or like broom closets or
You could do
whatever
like
the fuck.
You could do like a I feel like I've seen a lot of malls that have corner like jewelers.
It could
you
be
know.
a food court too, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
I feel
shit we
like
could do with all that.
there's a couple different there's businesses where they purposefully have it so you can like walk if you can like walk through as a shortcut.
But yeah, just wanted to show that off a little bit because I ended up really proud of this, how this looks.
Yeah, it looks great.
And then there's also like divots right here for where the walls would come up to separate each mid zone.
Mm-hmm.
I just did that in Blender for the little GIF I posted on Twitter, but I would like to actually script that to be like a scriptable thing we could flip. And I had some ideas for how we could go about that actual puzzle that I forgot about until just now, so I'm just gonna write down in the Miro real quick.
What puzzle?
Just how we go about opening the walls between each mid zone.
Oh, right.
Okay, I just wrote down the general idea in the Miro so I could remember it for later. Yeah, I think we could probably get going here. But now, yeah, so you could see I got a bit of a new setting that we're going to be working within, which is a little fun. I guess I should, whatever. I mean, I shouldn't worry about arranging everything too much. And yeah, I feel like it might, I feel like as this character, it does look like you're just like tiny. But if you're a little kid, I feel like it's natural that you would look tiny and feel tiny and all that, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's right. But yeah, I think, honestly, maybe we could also, one way to go about this is if we just knock out these walls completely and just make this wall connect to this wall, you know?
That's true.
That would make it feel a lot more spacious. So that might be one thing I experiment with. But I've been doing this like the fucking hard way, man. This took me like 2 days. Just because you can't do like radial symmetry in like a really clean way in Blender from what I could find.
You can.
Well,
with hard ops specifically.
Wow.
Hard ops has it.
Well, I'll need to look into that.
Yeah,
because I've been
it's
doing
called
this
radial symmetry.
Come on, man! I didn't even try. I googled it, and everyone had these dumbass fucking idiot solutions that didn't help at all. I was like, whatever, I'll just do it the hard way. Yeah, I literally manually was just like, okay, this wall needs to face this way, this wall needs to face this way, on every single individual wing. And I guess this one isn't the same as the rest of them, so I guess it's okay, but whatever. I kind of wish I had a time lapse of the whole process. It was ridiculous how tedious it was.
Well, still, it looks great.
I
do think it can be bigger.
Yeah, and I think bigger meaning like more spacious, right? Because like, I feel like the scale of like the stores and the interior of the wings is okay. Maybe let me get over there and make sure I'm okay.
I feel like each one of these should feel like it's like a small level.
Each wing?
Yeah. I mean, like, this building it's like the whole world of the game.
Yeah.
I guess there are some side areas and stuff too, but especially because of how fast you can run. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, that is true. It might just be the character
I feel like
speed.
you don't spend too much time where you're at.
I guess just with the way the mall is designed, it just feels like anytime I'm making something bigger, it's just making it more like empty.
Yeah, that's true. That's
so
more
I feel
space
like,
to fill.
I don't know how much of it is. Does it feel all big and boring and empty because there's nothing in here, or like is it really that big and empty and dumb? Like, I don't know. It's hard to say. Whoa! I hit the boxes.
After watching Chibi Robo, like they you have like such a small area that you're in, but it feels like a big place because there's like so many like the walls are like lined with stuff.
Yeah.
So like here, obviously we're not you wouldn't have stuff just like up on the walls that you're platforming to all the time. Maybe that
I was
could be
thinking right
fun.
here would be a big sign that's like red wing, yellow wing, green wing, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
That like is like right above the big door that locks it off. But
Yeah, actually, you maybe you could do like platforming challenges up there.
up there,
Yeah,
like
maybe
above the
there's
wing.
stuff up there. And there's like a oh, there's a barrel up there, up to there, up to there, and then boo, 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 you know. That could make them a little the wings themselves more interesting, like on the between stores, you know.
Yeah. Oh, I just realized my images aren't on closest. So it looks
Oh
like the
yeah.
textures all look all muddy. Who cares? Who cares? Fuck it. I'll fix it later. Yeah, I like the vibes of this place a lot. It just feels good to be in, especially once we start populating it. It kind of looks like have you seen the inside of the Doctor Who ship?
No. I
Look,
didn't know
it
he had a
looks
ship.
well. It's the 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 phone booth.
Oh,
The inside of
no.
it is like a spaceship, and it looks kind of like
No.
this.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of drew some inspiration from that, but it also changes design with every Doctor, but it maintains the central theme of like having like a center console that everything's kind of circled around. Yeah, like this kind of shit.
Ards.
It's called the TARDIS.
Yeah, I know.
Ards.
The tards.
Yeah, that's a little bit of inspiration drawn from that, but not much. It's not a ton. Okay, we can move on. We can move on now.
All right. So we're not actually we're making an acceleration zone, but really we're making a jump pad.
Oh, what? You just
That's what a
lied?
jump pad is.
Oh,
It's a
it just
zone that when
accelerates
you're
you.
in, it shoots you out. Yeah. I think it's going to be similar to the. I bet he came up with this like once he realized you can do that trick with the buoyancy thing.
Huh.
The buoyant where you can, it shoots you out. Because I think that's what we're doing.
Very nice. But it just happens to the player now instead of the big pretzel. Oh, never mind. It already did happen to the player.
The big pretzel.
Hello, Lance. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry. I just now looked at the Streamlabs thing. I didn't see it. But yeah, we appreciate that.
Lance is the big pretzel.
There
The
has been
big
more
pretzel.
stuff that I've been like on the fence about posting, but I feel like I want to keep it more to like I don't want to say big things, but like I don't want to be like, oh, I fixed some bugs with climbing, like you know, something that's interesting to look at the very least.
Yeah.
Because like sending, if you looked at the Discord, I just send like everything. Like it's just more of a work log in the Discord, whereas in the Twitter, I try to make it more like, look at this cool thing we made. Okay. Movement with consequences. Create jump pads and levitation via an acceleration zone. Make a multi-purpose detection zone. Reactively swap materials and activate or deactivate objects. Move objects via simple interpolation triggered by events. What? Reactively move objects via simple interpolation triggered by events. Okay, so
Hold
doors.
on, I broke my keyboard.
Oh shit.
Hold on. I didn't break it, break it. I'm just trying to put the front bit, you know.
The last thing was like the most wordy and over the top way to say door. Well, I'm gonna go
Making a door?
go through this object that moves via simple interpolation triggered by an event. It's a door.
Is that what it is?
It's a big door. It's gotta be. Probably not. It'll probably do it like a platform or something that reacts to you when you come through it. But for me, is I think of door immediately. I read an article that like
Oh no, you're
people.
wrong.
I read an article that people like game devs generally fucking hate doors, and it was like
Oh
it was
yeah,
like interviews with like 10 people that
I
all
was
had
thinking
just
about
like
that today.
ranting about how much they hated making doors.
I I um I bought and then returned Kenshi.
Oh,
Do
you
you know
didn't
the
like
game
it?
Kenshi?
Yeah,
Well, I what happened is I watched Germa play some of it, and then I was like, oh, this actually seems like a perfect game for me. And then I kind of thought like, oh, this might be a game that like I play for a really long time, like Warband.
oh, it might become like a problem.
Yeah.
So the return was more of like it's too
I,
good for me. It's
I
like dangerous.
yeah, it's like too deep. I knew immediately how much like learning and
That
stuff
was
I would have to
probably a
do.
good call, honestly. Like it
And
seems
the
like a very addictive game.
yeah, especially I think for me, like I think I'm the exact type of person who I could see it. I was like, "Oh no, 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 no." But I was thinking today how like I wonder if like the publishers of games or the developer of a game gets the Steam thing when they're like when you do a refund, like why you're refunding it, you
Did
know?
you write that?
Well, you have to write a thing like a reason why
Oh.
in Steam. So I thought this was Kenshi 2 because apparently they're making Kenshi 2 and it looks awesome. Like the
That's gonna be
graphics.
the big one, I think.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait for Kenshi 2.
Get your bunker ready for that one.
Yeah,
I haven't
honestly.
played Kenshi very much. I played it for like 5 hours maybe, but I talked to Vaughn about it a lot, and I remember seeing a lot of people play it. I think I just had like kind of a bad start, but I don't know. It was very fun. I just didn't get as hooked, but I could definitely feel it.
Yeah, it feels like right in between Rust and Warband, and those are two big time sucks for me.
Alright, this is the 10th installment of a tutorial series about controlling the movement of a character. It makes it possible for the environment to react to movement in various ways. Blah 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 blah. Playing with the environment. Acceleration zone. An active environment is more interesting than a static one, especially if it reacts to what's happening. This behavior could react to anything and could do anything, but a simple example is something like a jump pad. Whenever something lands on the pad, it gets launched upward. This could be our moving sphere or any other body that happens to fall or be pushed onto the pad. Thus, the behavior logically belongs to the jump pad. Other objects need not be aware of its existence, they just suddenly end up flying. So, yeah, like you're saying, it's a separate script, independent of everything else. It's just a thing that adds a force to another thing.
Yeah. So I guess I mean, it's probably very similar to just a speed boost, just depending on the direction.
Yeah, it's just the direction difference. So I guess his thing is probably going to be taking into account the gravity thing, right? Because he needs to get like up, relative up, not just like the y-axis up.
Yeah.
Okay, the most generic way to describe the jump pad's behavior is that it's a zone which accelerates anything that enters it. Hence, we'll create an acceleration zone component type with a configurable speed that cannot be negative. Okay, let's get that going. Do we have any, or do you think any of our props could represent a bounce pad?
I was just thinking about that.
Let me look at the props folder, I guess.
Table, maybe?
The symbol. I mean, I guess the fan. If it was animated to be
Sombrero.
spinning.
Sombrero. The sombrero looks like one of those things that you turn inside out and put on the
Oh,
table, and it goes, or goes, not, it goes like, I don't know what it does. I don't know the sound it makes. It doesn't suction.
it's like that.
I guess it does. It makes a suction-y sound, kind of. What are those called? Those were so popular, I feel like, in high school. I feel like they were always on
We're
my
talking about
desk.
the little rubber, like, $50 things that you flip inside out, right?
Yeah, and then they fly up.
Yeah. I don't know.
I guess I got a lot of gift bags.
Gift bags?
Gift bags. Oh, I have an empty courtyard still. I could put jump pads in.
So what did you call it? Animation or acceleration zone? Yeah. I almost feel like I could do this one. I guess I'll just, for the record, I'm gonna try to say what I think is gonna happen in this. It's tied to a trigger. It says if trigger enter, get other object, and then it'll be like if other object is a rigid body. Or I guess no, it won't matter. I guess yeah, just if it's a rigid body, then add a force that is add a force that has a configurable force amount, and the up vector being just like the gravity up vector. I guess. What else did he say there was going to be? Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see if he goes hard with this.
Yeah, I think that's probably what it is. We are definitely gonna, yeah. You were right on trigger enter and getting the rigid body. Oh, but he uses attached rigid body. Is that
Huh. What does that mean? Oh, well, I guess because it's the object collides and then has a rigid body attached to it. Like if a prop, like a prop object, it wouldn't, that in itself isn't a rigid body. It has a rigid body attached to it, I guess. Is that the logic of it?
I'm just gonna look up. For some reason I thought that was one that we wrote as part of
What?
the like standing on something and then you rotate with it,
Oh,
like
that
the
was
moving
connected body.
platforms. Yeah, yeah. This is attached rigid body. Okay. So this is part of rigid body.
Okay, so it's a built-in thing.
Yeah.
When something with a rigid bodies enter the zone, we should accelerate it. Add an on-trigger enter method for this that invokes a new accelerate method with the triggering body as an argument. This will happen to all bodies that enter the zone, but you can use layers to prevent certain objects from getting detected if desired. Okay, that's pretty smart. So I guess we just create like a not launchable layer or something like that.
Yeah. And we're using a
Or
configurable speed.
no, we would make a mask on the bounce pad that says like what's bounceable, and then we would
Yeah.
deselect certain things. Because that always confuses me. Is that it's like this one object has like multiple properties to it. Like it's a rigid body that I want the camera to look through, but I don't want it to be bounceable. I wouldn't put it all in both the rigid body, the bounceable, and the not and the camera clippable or whatever layers I would put it in one layer and then exclude the layers that it is in, I guess,
Hmm.
from all the masks. That's something I need more practice with for sure.
I like using the bench as a bounce pad in a mall.
Well, I was definitely thinking of it being the kiosk, with it like the
Oh
overhang.
yeah, on
That's
top.
like the perfect thing, but we just don't
I
have
was
that.
just I
But
just
the
imagined a
bench works.
mechanic. I imagine a mechanic where it's like if you sprint at a empty bench, you like kick off of it and you jump high, you know.
That could be fun, yeah. And
I feel
especially
like
if the
that would
bench
just
was
be
like wow
fun.
wow wow and like
Yeah.
warps a little bit. I was thinking it could be kind of fun. We should consider experimenting with like squash and stretch in our animation.
Yeah.
I've never done that in 3D, but like if we did little things like the arms stretching all weird, that would be kind of fun. I don't know how
Yeah,
like
that
feasible that is though.
I mean, I think it always makes animation look good. It's just the how well you could do it, I guess, in a game. I think you could do a lot of it though. It's always been in games.
Yeah,
At
because
least like
it takes
simple, just
two
like
does a lot.
Z. What does?
It takes two does a lot. Has a pretty good amount of it.
Oh yeah. I mean I have Monster Rancher 2 playing in the background right now with the
Ooh.
sound off. And the here I'll show like even this has squash and stretch. Perfect example is this
Yeah.
character.
This game is cool because you can like.
Yeah, I'm really into the combat system.
I remember
I
liking this
want to
game a
study it.
lot.
I've never seen a turn-based. It's like partially turn-based, but also you can move around and stuff. It's like I've
It's like
been
half and
trying to
half.
figure out how to do like a combat system that's turn-based but based on how far away you are from somebody. And this is like exactly that with some stuff, extra stuff that I just don't understand.
So I guess I just should I just put the what if I put the acceleration zone on a rigid body? Is it just gonna fly away?
I don't know actually.
Oh,
I feel
cannot
like no,
add
it,
script
it would
opponent. Damn it.
it would be a attached rigid body is what gets it, right?
Oh, I didn't save.
Did you put like the code for accelerate in?
Yeah.
So in this we're doing a configurable speed, not acceleration. So we're just speeding up to a speed. So if we were to use a jump pad or use it for a speed boost thing, it would be like still up to a max speed, I guess. Which is that's how it works in like Mario Kart.
Oh wait. I just realized I didn't make it. I didn't make a trigger volume on it. So of course it's not gonna do anything. I guess if I just make the mesh collider a trigger, so it should send that briefcase flying immediately. Then I guess. Is this the right bench? It's between red and magenta. No, that was the wrong bench. Oh, it's gone. What? Where'd it go? So I guess yeah, it's just flying away. I guess. Oh, it's way down there. Yeah, it just flew away. Let's keep the scene camera on it. Let's see what happened. Oh, it just fell through the ground. Oh, because the fucking collider is a trigger, so it didn't collide with anything. Okay, so now it has two. It has a trigger and a collider. Okay, that still didn't work. Whatever. It shouldn't be on a rigid body anyways. Oh wait, I know why that happened. Never mind. Hold on. One last thing. If I do that and then I make it convex. But okay, yeah. Hey, it works. I think it just launched that bike. Yeah. It's really simple though. Yeah. The bouncy bench. So I need to make an animation for this.
The bouncy bench.
Because she doesn't have a... There's nothing in the animation tree for when you go from falling to falling. Like...
Oh, yeah.
Falling to ground to falling immediately. Like... So she just goes into her landing and then falling again. So there should be like a boom.
Oh, it only does it the first time.
It doesn't do... I'm not... It works for me. I'm doing it over and over.
Oh, I bet my max speed is too low.
Crank that bitch.
He stops right when it gets at its peak. Where's player? New player.
I wish I would have implemented like a way to pick up objects before we did this. This is like annoying.
Maybe that's the next big like script.
You think he'll implement that in this?
No, I mean that's the next thing for us.
Oh yeah, I think we should. I think that should be the next thing we delve into. But I mean, it depends on what kind of system we want to do. That's why I was thinking the sticky hand would be a funny way to do it. It's because like in first person, you could just levitate it in front of you and it doesn't really matter because you could just imagine you're holding it. But in third person, if you do that, it's like very obvious that it's just levitating, I feel like. So either that or you want to like have it actually in their hand. Like maybe there's an animation of like her hands above her head like this. And then you just put the item there and she just like walks around carrying it. But then if it's like a little soda can, like I don't know.
Yeah, that's fun. No, I mean I like that a lot.
And there could be like a throw. That could be one way to do it. And I guess there also we could have it be like if the mass is under this certain amount, just pin it to the hand. And then if it's over this amount, she carries it like this. And then if it's over another amount, then she carries it over its head.
This is weird. It's like I get a lot of errors with this, I feel like.
It's not working as consistently as you would think.
Yeah, it's pretty inconsistent. And it didn't have to do with the max speed. Yeah, look.
So you have a box collider that is a trigger. And then you have the acceleration zone script, speed set to 13. Did you, I mean, there wasn't much code written so far, but I mean, did you just copy and paste all of it? Or
Yeah, I think maybe it has to do with this thickness. Maybe I'm going through it.
I'm going to try to make like an actual box collider like you had, instead of it being a dumb... volume. There we go. Box volume. Is there a way to do like the idea of a gizmo, but without having to write all that fucking code for it? Like if I could just make a volume visible.
I was thinking we skipped the gizmo code, but we don't know anything about gizmo code, so probably need to learn it from somewhere. Whoa. It sends me through the wall.
Do you have like a weird gravity source, maybe?
Maybe. I only have one.
That's the next thing I was going to try. I was going to try to flip the gravity upside down in this place. And see if I could bounce up to the ceiling and then bounce back down to the floor, you know?
Is it meant to speed you up in the direction you're going? No.
I mean, he didn't really specifically say what direction it is, did he?
I think he did. I think he says why.
Oh yeah, velocity
Yeah,
dot y.
velocity y. So yeah, we probably just need to keep making it better. Yeah, oh, that's the problem. There it is. Preventing snapping to the ground. I'm snapping to the ground.
Oh, I'm a dumbass. I just put a fucking box volume here and I didn't do anything. I was just jumping in it like, why isn't this working? I didn't put the script on it. Oh wait, I'm still an idiot. Why don't it work?
I don't really get how his solution for this works. Oh, wait, yes, I do. We do have to do a little extra in moving sphere, moving ball for me.
Oh, it is working. It's kind of working. Yeah, okay. Oh, it's because it's only on trigger stay enter. It's not on trigger stay, so it's just firing the one time while I'm within the box. So if you're consistently within the box,
yeah,
then it just doesn't change. Like it doesn't apply the force more than one time. You have to leave the plane. You have to leave the trigger and then re-enter it for it to keep going over and over and over like it was earlier. Which means I need to scale this bitch down a little bit. Make it a little trampoline thing. There. Now if I jump on it, I'll just keep bouncing over and over. That makes sense. Okay.
oh, when does he change it to stay? Oh, the next thing.
So I've still just been playing with this. I haven't made a lot of changes to it yet.
Where are you at, though?
I'm like at the GIF where he pushes the shit into the yellow box, or preventing snapping to the ground. I haven't done anything in preventing snapping to the ground yet.
Okay, I'm putting that code in now.
I'm just thinking if there's a way that I could make. Maybe if I put a mesh renderer tied to this, and I give it a material. Yeah, I don't think it's doing anything. I'm just trying to find a way to make it like visible in play mode, but oh, I guess isn't there just a thing where I could just say like our trigger is visible or something like that?
Maybe. That sounds like something.
I feel like I remember that being a thing. I guess I could just Google it real quick, but whatever. I'll check it. I'll give it like 2 minutes.
Does your do you have issues with your camera being like low frame.
Sometimes. Go to your scene select mode real quick. Don't. Oh, I guess yeah, that's fine.
Oh,
Do you have like a bunch of shit selected, or is it just one thing?
just one.
Do you have like the camera selected?
No, actually, I don't have anything selected.
Because sometimes I'll realize that I had like all of my physics objects selected, and then I go into play mode, and it still lags really crazily, even though it's not actually like
This is
in
like
that mode. It's weird.
just the camera. The camera position, it like the updating the position is not smooth at
I've
all.
noticed that before. You might want to try building it and see if it still has that problem. If you just do
Yeah.
build and run, it only takes like a minute, and then we can see if that's a real problem or if it's just like an editor thing. Because I think it's just an editor thing.
Yeah. I think it's just the editor.
It was smooth now.
Seems like it. Yeah, it's definitely not as bad.
Okay.
Either way, I'm definitely down to just use or to try and learn the Cinemachine.
Yeah, that's. I think once we're done with Catlike coding, I mean we're almost done. But once we wrap this up, I think we'll be like, we'll do similar jams, but it'll be like, let's figure out how to switch to Cinemachine just together, and then it'll be like, let's figure out how to pick up objects, like that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Damn, this is way too annoying.
What is Splish Splash taking a bath from? Is that what it is? Do you recognize
Splish
that?
splash, I was taking a bath. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you. It makes me think of Johnny Bravo, but that's definitely not it. But I get those kind of vibes.
The song is almost identical to a song that Tim Heidecker made called Hot Piss.
Well, which one came
Hot piss
first?
on the tip of my lips.
Edit. Project settings. Oh, it's right there. Physics.
I wonder if that's where he got it. I'm gonna look that up. Splish Splash. Oh, it's just a Bobby Darin song. Wow. Just an old song. That's funny. I always thought it was a joke song, but it's just a song from the 50s.
You can never really tell. Gizmos? Is there a gizmos section under physics? Guess not. Alright, well. Oh, this is only in editor mode, though. It doesn't show up in game mode still. Ugh. Okay, well.
Yeah, it's not the same song. Not the same song as Hot Piss.
They just sound eerily similar.
I think it was more just the memory of the Splish Splash song was wrong. It's much more of a 4-bar blues.
I don't know what that means.
It's like whenever a song is like do 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 do. No, it's like do 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 do. You
It's
know,
a good song.
that's a classic. Do
Okay.
do 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 do.
Boing. All right, now I have a bouncy pad that is visually different. Oh, and then there's also just one of the benches is also really bouncy for some reason. Just a rubber bench. What if I put the rubber bench on the bounce pad? Nothing happened. All right. Preventing snapping to ground. This simple approach works fine when launching regular bodies, but our sphere doesn't get properly launched. It instead appears to gain a lot of forward speed when it moves into the zone. That's... Oh my god. Fucking brain blast. Remember I explained when I was making those fucking damage pads? I wanted them to launch you at a 45-degree angle, and I would only go like this or like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's because of snapping. It's got to be because of snapping.
Yeah.
So I gotta add, I'm gonna put that on my to-do. I gotta add a thing that also removes... Wait, I'm just making the same... I already made this. I'm damage box...
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll just add this to my notes on damage box. The weird perpendicular launch is cause snapping, dummy. Okay. I didn't need to close that whole thing. Okay. Sorry, sidetracked. And instead, yeah, this is exactly what happens to me. It's why it brought that back. Is because he says it gains a lot of forward speed when it moves into the zone, instead of getting launched upwards. This happens because we snap to the ground. This can be solved by decreasing the max snap speed, but that won't work for acceleration zones set to a low speed. To prevent ground snapping in general, we have to instruct moving sphere to not perform snapping for the moment. We can do that by adding a public prevent snap to ground method that sets steps since last jump to -1. Huh? So when steps since last jump equals -1, what does that mean?
Let's look at steps since last jump.
Oh, yeah, I have to open up that script.
If steps since last jump is less than 2, snap to ground returns false.
If it's less than 2?
Yeah. And then
on steps since last jump, what is steps? Like physics steps?
Update state steps.
Okay.
Yeah. Or not update state, yeah, it's physics steps.
I'm just trying to find steps since last jump. I don't even
And
know.
every time you jump, it gets set to 0. Every time you press jump.
That makes sense. Oh, also climbing is dependent on that. You can only climb... It looks like climbing is true if your climb contact count is greater than 0 and your steps since last jump is greater than 2.
Greater than 2?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. It's like two frames of not being able to climb right after a jump or right after a bounce pad.
Okay. So I figure I'll just call the same method in the damage box script eventually, but I'll just see where this goes.
Note that this approach doesn't reset the jump phase, so bouncing off jump pads without landing doesn't refresh air jumps. But I guess just adding prevent or adding another method in accelerate, you could probably refresh the jumps as well.
Wait, where did you just read that from?
Very right under the getting launched GIF.
Oh, okay. So bouncing off jump pads without landing doesn't refresh air jumps. Oh, so you go bounce, bounce, bounce off air pad, then you can't bounce again.
Yeah.
I guess I should bounce pad. You go jump, double jump, bounce, and you can't double jump and you hit the ground.
That'd
Which I
be
feel
pretty
like,
easy to change.
yeah, and I don't feel like that's necessarily a problem, right? Like
Yeah,
that could be a
I'm
balanced thing
imagining
too.
like I feel like there's Mario levels or there's some platformer I've played where you like jump on mushrooms and when you jump on the mushrooms they're bounce pads and you like need to jump in the air to get to the next mushroom, that sort of thing. Or like, bounce pads. I feel like I've seen that where a bounce pad will reset your jump. Maybe
Yeah.
that's Hat in Time. I think maybe Hat in Time is like that.
I'm actually gonna have to BRB for a second.
Okay.
Should I put it on the one where we could still see your screen, or should I just full BRB it?
Well, I won't go ahead, so.
Okay, I'll just go to normal BRB then. BRB.
Okay.
Hello, we're back. Sorry. Okay. So let me do this prevent snapping thing. So this is a new method we're creating that all it does is just sets step since last jump to -1, which disables snapping essentially. And we will call that method whenever a body that has that method, I guess. Whenever a body that has snapping interacts with it, meaning the player.
So I learned that update state at the beginning of update state we increment step since last jump. So it'll pretty much immediately go to 0. I think that's the idea of the -1.
Okay. Now acceleration zone.accelerate can invoke this method if the body has a moving sphere component, which we can both check and retrieve by invoking try get component with our sphere as an output argument. Okay, so it's just gonna check is there a moving sphere component, and if there is, then do this thing. Which again, I think I could just copy and paste this exact thing into my the enemies, air quotes, the red boxes that are supposed to deal damage to you, and it would probably just immediately fix my problem. I don't know if I showed this, but I made like a taking damage animation where it was like, ugh, and you like bend.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so bad. Like when I put it in to actually start using it, it was just like fucking like pathetic. It didn't work at all. And I was just like, God, and I just deleted it like immediately. So I need to try that again.
Maybe like a bounce animation of some kind. I feel like I've seen a game where someone gets bounced and their body goes like horizontal and they like flail their hands around like a crab and then they land on their stomach.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
It took me a little while.
Yeah.
But I think I get it.
I don't know what game that is.
Where am I putting this? Just at the bottom? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay. So let's see if that... I mean, it's probably not going to change much because I wasn't really having that many problems, but that fixed your problem, right?
Yeah. It works very well now.
Making a like the floor's lava game seems really cool. Why can't I climb on this? What? Yeah, that should be another thing we take into account in the mall game. Is you should be able to it should be possible to do a route where you never touch the ground. It's really unnecessary. It could just be funny.
I want to figure out if there's any solution for like flying through walls at high speed.
I think that has to do with physics.
The
steps,
time
no?
step.
Or yeah, time step.
Yeah, I feel like that. I don't know. I feel like that's really performance heavy. Or like GPU dependent.
I mean, I think it also is like that's probably a sign that you're going too fast, anyways, right?
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
Like that you shouldn't be. It shouldn't be possible to go that fast, I think. So either the physics steps are too low, or you're going too fast. But there might be a better way. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could put volumes like on in unplayable areas that are like, if you're in this volume for any reason, then snap you back to this place. You know?
Yeah, that might be something.
Yeah, I need to create. I need to have a Boolean in moving sphere that flips for like a few seconds, maybe like 1 second, every time you trigger this bounce thing. And then I need to create an animation tied to that where he goes boom, and like it's something different, because this is dumb how you just like float, like you're doing the falling animation over and over. Okay. Note that this approach doesn't reset the jump phase, so bouncing off jump pads without landing doesn't refresh air jumps. Do you want to try to just fix that right now?
Sure.
Let me get. I don't even have double jumps, so let me give myself that. So I've jumped. Oh wait. Oh, I can't do double jumps. Fuck.
I guess all we would have to do is... I wonder if we could just invoke clear state.
So I actually can't do this.
Okay.
But I'm down to do it just focusing on your screen, basically. But for me to be able to do this, I'd have to do some work on the animations.
Don't we have something called clear state?
Yeah, or...
There it is. That is just contact counts, it looks like. There's no jump in that.
There's got to be... Isn't there something
that makes sense, though.
it?
That's part of... I mean, we do clear state at the end of every fixed update.
I mean, just go to, like, in, like, snap to ground. That would reset it, right? That would reset your jumps?
Well, we could just... I'll just write a really quick one. That way I don't mess with something that I don't want to... if I can just add an extra method that does it.
Well, just... Can't you just build
reset
it in?
air jumps?
Oh, I see. Okay. I just don't... Like, what is the... I guess I should just check that. So if max air jumps is greater than 0 and jump phase is less than or equal to max air jumps. So you want to change jump phase, yeah. So when you...
Yeah, set it to 0.
Yeah, so you don't want to set jump phase equal to 0. But yeah, just keep that, because once I do end up... I'm going to have to make an air jump animation, basically, is the idea. Because my jump isn't activated by me hitting spacebar, necessarily. Spacebar plays the animation, and then the animation calls jump. Meaning that if I don't have a air jump animation, then I can't air jump.
See if that works. I get one air jump there. Got the air jump there. I'll air jump onto it. I don't know if I did it.
It didn't look like you did.
Yeah, I hit it at like the worst time to check though. Yeah,
oh,
I got it.
It did work?
Yeah, I just like did it at a time when I was at my highest. I
do
like
it a few
jumped
times.
into the...
Like just keep bouncing on that and then do a double jump. So bounce and do another double jump right now. And then just keep doing that, yeah.
There I'll just stop myself. That's the best way to test.
Okay.
I'll do it on the way down. Yeah, I mean,
cool.
I think it works.
Working, yeah. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like
my jumps are really weak. I'll duplicate this. That Control D, yeah. Wait, did I do it twice? No. I'll put this in a place that I have to double jump to.
That was like perfect.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I was born for this.
Level design is easy.
Alright. So now we're doing fans. Fan
Continuous
zones.
acceleration. Ah. An instantaneous speed change is fine for jump pads, but we could also use a zone to create other acceleration phenomena that are continuous, like a levitation zone. We can support this by simply adding an on-trigger stay method that does the same as on-trigger enter. Yup. Yup. If the effect is prolonged, then it'll look better if the speed change is achieved via a proper acceleration. So let's add a configurable acceleration to the zone, again with a minimum of 0. If it's set to 0, we'll make the change instantaneous, otherwise we can apply acceleration. So yeah, this really is a fan zone.
So if acceleration is 0, when is that? At the peak?
Acceleration is 0?
Acceleration is 0 is when it's at its peak.
Yeah, when instantaneously. Or.
Oh yeah, so it's when you go back down, it slows you down and then sends you back up once you've slowed down to 0.
Yeah, we'll just make the instantaneous change. There's no
Am I
acceleration.
am I mistaking? So I feel like it's 0 speed when it's at the height. Oh no, yeah, I am wrong. It's 0 speed when it's at the height, and it's accelerating negative the whole time. So it's when the speed, or it's when the acceleration is equal to gravity, is when it's 0. When the acceleration from if the acceleration is greater than 0. Oh wait, no, that acceleration is just the float we give it. That's dumb.
This is so
Okay.
similar to water.
Yeah, I mean we're using move towards here instead of lerp, but I think they're pretty similar. He always uses move towards for speed for some reason.
This is kind of like a tractor beam. Or a fan, I guess. Fan is probably the easier answer. But it just makes me think of like getting abducted by aliens, especially when you look at it from scene view with like this big green ray. And
Oh
it's like,
yeah.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, switch it. Switch your screens. I'm all big.
Oh, whoops. Okay. I kind of want to import the fan in here, but I also it's going to be annoying that it's not animating, so it might not be worth it. Maybe
The
I'll do that
fan.
off stream. It's also possible to apply a force instead, so objects with greater mass end up accelerating slower. But a fixed acceleration makes it easier to design levels, so I used that. So he's saying when it's fixed, it's easier to predict like how far you're gonna make it off of it and shit like that. Is that what he means by level design?
Uh, I didn't catch that.
It's also possible to apply a force instead, so objects with a greater mass end up accelerating slower. But a
Oh,
fixed acceleration makes it easier to design levels, so I used that.
yeah, probably. I mean, he's a pretty math forward guy, it seems. So maybe
He just means that it's like it's irrespective of the mass. It's always going to be the same like
yeah,
arc and everything, so it's easier to design a level around that. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that's probably smart.
and maybe he like drops a little testing cube on it or something. I don't know. I guess that like so he can test if something is gonna be exactly the same as his movement.
Finally, to make it possible to accelerate in any direction, convert the body velocity to the zone's local space at the start of accelerate and convert it back to world space when applying it. Do this with blah 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 and blah blah blah, so the zone scale doesn't affect it. The inverse, the acceleration direction can now be controlled by rotating the zone. I wonder if I could do an animation where it like if you bounce off of a tilted jump pad, if your guy goes into like a little dive like this that's like parallel or perpendicular to the jump pad, so you go like boing, like that could be kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
I guess you could just use the same direct. I don't know. Whatever. I'm coming back into the same. I guess in that case it would be right to make the direction based on velocity. I don't know.
Inverse transform direction. I wonder what that is. That's the opposite. That's the opposite of our velocity because it's the body velocity. So like you get inverse transform direction.
He says that's just so that the zone scale doesn't affect it.
Transforms a direction from world space to local space. The opposite of transform direction. So I guess transform direction specifically, it's a specific thing that goes from local space to world space. And inverse transform direction is the opposite. So it is kind of specific. What is this? What did I do? Did you remove anything in the last little copy and paste? Or is
Arbitrary
that just in
direction.
between? The bit before the continuous acceleration.
Yeah, I didn't remove anything for that. I just put
Oh,
it.
okay.
The only thing I
In
changed.
between.
Yeah, you had to kind of put it right above velocity speed, basically.
Okay. Oh, I misspelled acceleration in my definition. Okay.
So now I can have. I guess if I make another one of these, and I have it go like, like a T shape. That's why I should go like. Yeah, it seems to be working.
So this way we can like we maintain the Y. It's still like the Y direction, but it's Y in local space.
I wonder if that's something I would need to consider for the
The
rotation
turning.
problem.
Yeah. I thought about that before, but I didn't know how to like I don't know didn't know what the solution was. But I thought it might have to do with local space. This is not working the way I thought it would. Or wait, yeah, they're just not bounce pads anymore. Wait, did we? So do we like just take that functionality out?
Well, if you want to make it a bounce pad, you make the acceleration 0.
Right, right. Okay. That's smart. That's very smart. Hey, that's pretty fun.
This is fun. Yeah, this is like exactly what I wanted out of the damage box script. Boom. And then I land in the tractor beam. Oh no, I missed. Broke my ankles.
I'm very glad that you suggested to actually put in the air jump because that makes this much more fun to like you can jump out of the floating thing.
Yeah, that's good. I wish I could have got that working, but I just forgot I had to implement that separately.
Well, what do you have to you didn't do any of the code for it?
No. Well, I mean, I guess I could do the code, but it just wouldn't change anything. Unless I again, what I could do is I could wire up the normal jump animation as an air jump.
Oh, right. It's just the animations would be
Yeah, the
weird.
animation is the problem, so I just have to do that off
Oh, okay.
stream because
Yeah,
that
no,
would
I
be
get that. That
tedious.
is a lot of work.
I mean, you could see how much of a spider nest these things become.
Yeah.
It gets really tedious. Just like, oh well, I found out if I wall run to the left while I'm swimming, and then I let go of the wall, I'll go into the falling animation. So I gotta work on that. That's fun being able to just like throw shit onto the bounce pad. That's why I want to get just like a gravity gun or something. Like, I just want to have the functionality of a gravity gun at the very least. Okay, are you good?
Yeah. I'm caught up.
I mean, we're at the hour, I guess. We're at hour 30, and we are on the second phase.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking this would
That
be a
was
good
very
time to.
slow paced, but we definitely still we weren't wasting time. We were just doing side shit. Um, so I guess my to dos off stream are get air jumps working and add the new functionality where it ignores snapping to the damage box guys. Um, but yeah, I mean those are both relatively simple things, just kind of tedious. Most likely, what I'll end up doing is just more work on the map because I got to find some way to make it just feel a little more spacious.
Yeah.
I think maybe just deleting this chunk right here, that might go a long way. Kind of like that. I think that'll be enough where I'll be like satisfied with it for a while at least. Maybe then make the wings themselves, like make the tips of them go out a little bit further. Oh god. Something like that, I don't know. That actually doesn't look too bad. Obviously the textures are fucked, but I could fix that.
Yeah,
Wait,
that wouldn't be. I feel like I've seen malls that do that.
now the stores inside. I guess what is this? That's nothing. There's like a little triangle section here now that's just like empty. So maybe I'll make that like an extension to the inside of the store or something. Or I guess no, because there's a... Oh no, yeah, the wall's right here. It could also just be empty space. It doesn't really matter. Okay, well maybe that's what I'll do. But whatever, you know, I'll just see what I end up working on. Who knows? I might want to just take a break from Blender.
I think I'll... Here, I can show at least the body, the base of the body. This is where I'm at. I need to do the arms better and stuff, but I'll keep working on this guy.
Nice.
His arms are too skinny. The big thing that I was having trouble with was the vest. I mean, obviously the before subdivision it's super messy, but getting like the vest to wrap over. I wanted to have like lines down the middle, but I couldn't figure out what I
You
needed
also
to do.
make it where like there's nothing underneath the vest? You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
is that
that's
what
what
you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
do?
do after.
Okay.
The main problem was the principle that I try to always follow, which is this shape.
Yeah.
And that's not, you can't put that in the vest. The vest needs like straight lines. But yeah, I think I got topology that'll bend nicely.
Very nice. That sounds good.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he's looking
obviously
good.
not too far, but
It's a
I'm
start,
trying to get,
yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to get
Especially if
better
you've
at like,
redone it.
yeah, this was done in like an hour, but it was after a long meditation on the shape of stuff, and doing this a lot.
Spinning around him.
Yeah, well, spinning around him, I figured out if I spin around this in the middle, it doesn't help my eyes. I can't fill in the blanks doing this. But I was doing this for a while, trying to like, if I can visualize the sides if he's
Hmm.
animated in a spin. But I learned if I kind of put the camera over here and put him on a carousel, I can kind of see it.
Oh, that's interesting. Like if he's offset.
Yeah, I think because like the trick is if he was spinning around his center, I would very easily see his side or his corners, you know.
Yeah.
But if he's on a carousel, then I would see him here like this, up close, and then far away, you know. It actually does. There's every once in a while I do this and I go like, "Oh, I see him." Like exactly how he should look.
How long were you
Before I
doing
had
this?
this, doing this,
Just the spin?
I every couple minutes I just do a spin.
Oh, okay. Just to make sure you're like in the right ballpark.
Yeah, it really helps me like build what he looks like in my head.
That's cool.
Just doing just doing this and trying to catch a glimpse because then my brain has to fill it in. It forces me.
That's definitely a very interesting technique. I like it. Well,
But yeah,
I need to start. I haven't modeled a character in a while, but I've just been kind of putting it off because I feel like that became kind of like my safe space, I guess. Like it
yeah.
became a safe thing for me to do, and I want to try to force myself to do other shit that I know is going to be really important. Oh fuck. Oh. Oh. Oh.